vacant WBO Intercontinental title bout between Antonio Douglas and Gary O'Sullivan. Right here on RT Boxing. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Mr. A. And this is a very interesting, not talked about fight. You got a top 10 ranked fighter in Antonio Douglas in 3 of the sanctioned bodies. He's not ranked in the IBF at all, but he's number 9 WBC, 10 WBA, and 7 WBO. His opponent, Gary O'Sullivan, he's not ranked in any of the 4, but he is number 47th in the world. Now, Gary has a record of 26-2. He has 18 KOs. His career record expands to 117 rounds at the age of 33, representing good old Cork, Ireland from the UK. Now, his opponent, Antonio Douglas, is 22-1 with 1 draw, 16 KOs, 1 KO, and he's 16 KOs out of his win. He's fighting at 67 KO percent against 64 of Gary O'Sullivan. So his career expands to 101 rounds. Age 25, so he's the younger man to the 33 of O'Sullivan. He's 6 foot with a 74-inch reach. I couldn't find the other information for Gary O'Sullivan. Again, this is for the vacant WBO Intercontinental Middleweight Championship. Now, can that possibly lead you to a Billy Joe Saunders, or whoever has it? Because you figure by this time, if whoever has this belt, you would think Saunders and Lemieux winner have fought Canelo or Triple G by now. Now, going on to this fight, do Antonio Douglas have the ability? Has he learned to handle pressure from his Kirkitsky loss? Because to me, both these fighters coming up into this matchup have been poor competition. Gary Sullivan's each of their opponents, the last 3 fights are coming off losses before they fought them. Gary O'Sullivan's opponents have fought better competition, but they're coming off losses, same as Antonio Douglas. His opponents, I know one of them because he lost to Caleb Plant, but the other ones, they're coming off really. Antonio Douglas has really been softball fed since his loss from Kirkitsky. His opponent's record is 0-6 with 3 knockouts by losses. 1 ringside decision, but I count as 3 knockouts. And so 0-6, so he's been getting real softballs as a build-up. Will that prepare him for Gary Sullivan, who is a kind of a come-forward fighter, okay jabbish, but he's a pressure fighter himself with hooks, and Douglas is a more slowed down, methodical boxer. It's almost it's a slowed down style of what got him his only loss by a knockout. Is he prepared? Let's see. So that is what we're talking about. The breakdown and prediction right here on RT Boxing. I am your host, Mr. A. Thanks a lot for your time and support. Defeat and legs into these fighters. I don't see any of them being terrific back foot fighters. They both need to be coming forward to be at their best. Do any of them have a lateral movement, using the ring, the ropes? At best, they're maybe side to side, semi keep turning you at best. But these guys are just four fighters in and out, slow steps. Douglas uses his legs to keep the gap with his jab. Sullivan uses his legs to get the lunge into his hooks, but it also throws him off balance a little sometimes. But I'm gonna, so that's a tough one, leg, because they're very basic legs to me. I'm gonna say they're equal. Can I say that, people? Can I be equal? Yeah, they're very basic, fundamental legs for both these guys. As far as defensively, I will say Douglas is a better inside fighter, catch and shoot, slip type of fighter. But he can get picked off from a distance or rushed or sped up, and he leaves himself a little open. But if he's fighting at a slow pace, he can slip and pick you off. Gary Sullivan defense, he's going to be in front of you. Either he's going to catch it or he's going to slip it, and he's coming with hooks behind it. He's looking to jab right after you and then hooking. So who can I don't know who can slip punches better in the inside. Gary Sullivan's pretty decent. You know, he's very underrated. This is a tough, fair fight. I want to go with Gary Sullivan a little bit because like I said, Gary Sullivan only 2 losses is against Billy Joe Saunders and Chris Eubanks. So you don't see him get hit too often. But when he did get cracked, it was by those 2 guys. And those 2 guys are like fast hands, good boxers, fast feet. And I just don't see. It's kind of hard to say he has weak defense because those 2 guys were able to just get shots off on him. Besides those 2 guys, I haven't seen him get really welled on. You know, he takes shots, but I haven't seen him get welled on. Douglas, he gets hit. He gets hit because even in his last fight against Angel, a guy he was totally outclassed on, Angel was just cracking him with an overhand right hand. He stands up tall. He comes in head high. So I'm going to go with Gary Sullivan. OSullivan for the defense. This is the Double RT Boxing Show. I am your host, Mr.A. You know, thank you for your time and support. Now we got the arm category. The offensive, the eye attraction, you know, what people come to see. Who's going to deliver that knockout? Who has that one punch power? Who has the power? I am going with, first of all, let's go recap the numbers. What does the numbers say? 22 wins, 16 KOs for Antonio Douglas. 26, 18 KOs. So we got a 67% versus 64. Numbers favor Douglas. But what does the eyeball test tell me? You know, okay, so Sullivan's not knocking people out, but the punches he are delivering against the competition, I'm going to go with Sullivan. You know, if I'm going to get hit by someone, let me get hit by Douglas. I take my chances with Douglas. Now for jab, who has a better jab? Douglas uses and relies on his jab more for his offensive setup, you know, which leads into the combination variation. Wow. Sullivan, he doesn't use his jab enough to me. But when it is used by both fighters, who has the better one? Sullivan kind of like, to me, kind of leaps off his feet a little bit when he like it's a little leap, like he's coming in too fast for his hooks. While Douglas seems to be planted behind his. Like I said, to me, Douglas' jab is more important to him. But Sullivan needs a jab. It'll make his game so much easier because he rushes in too much with hooks. and he gets picked off. So who's saying that? It kind of tells me that Douglas's jab is better. It's more frequently. Combination variation. Very repetitive in both fighters. Douglas is a 1-2 with a left body hook. He's a slow-paced fighter. You know, Gary Sullivan is a blind you type jab. He's gonna come in, just rock him and sock him, hook you. Occasional body hook. He'll throw uppercut. It's not variations, but combinations. I'm gonna get more. I'll give you $1. Gary O'Sullivan might give me $1.50 back worth of punches. Combinations. Douglas might just give me my dollar's worth. So I'm gonna go with Gary O'Sullivan. The variation ain't too much, but I think I get a little more bang for my buck. Little extra freebies with Gary O'Sullivan. Speed variations. Douglas has fast hands. I do believe he has the faster hands in this fight. So I'm going to go with Douglas on this one. He has the faster hands, so I believe he could change his speeds up more effectively due to his naturally faster speed. Now, since Douglas is 3 top 10s out of 4, I would take it he is favored in this. So how could Gary Sullivan win this? I always do keys for the underdog. So once again, thank you for watching the show. This is RRT Boxing. I am your host, Mr. A. Repeat it. Thank you. Thumbs up. Please thumbs up the video. Mr. A's keys to victory for the underdog, in my opinion, Gary O'Sullivan. Work behind the jab. Double it, triple it. Work the body up. Switch up your attacks up and down. Hook, body attacks, and push Douglas against the ropes. Now that being a quick little keys to victory, I don't know who's favored in this fight. So I haven't heard no one talk about who they're picking. So I'm just gonna go with my prediction. I'm going with the new WBO Intercontinental Middleweight Champion. Let's see here. I do believe Douglas has the faster hands. He should be able to pick O'Sullivan off when he wants to. But I do believe Sullivan has enough skills to skid inside, enough bang with his buck with his hooks to enforce a faster speed to eventually wear down Douglas's faster hands. I don't think Douglas would be able to keep up the combinations, 3-minute rounds for 12 rounds, throwing his fast. Douglas is a slow fighter. I believe Gary O'Sullivan will make him fight at a faster pace, roughhouse him with those hooks. And I believe Gary O'Sullivan will knock out Antonio Douglas. I just don't think, unless Douglas showed great cardio shape, I don't feel he was prepared properly in his previous fights for this type of style fighter. Like I said, he's faster than him. He has the quicker hands. I just don't know if he could keep up the speed and the power to keep Gary O'Sullivan off him. I don't think he's good as Billy Joe, and I don't think he's fast and strong as Eubank Jr. to do it. This is Mr. A saying thank you for your time and support. Let's see what happens. Leave a comment down. Who do you think and how you got it going?